Hello everyone, this is Jebro, and this is my To the Contrary series where I take a class, have a look at it, and see if I can come up with something a bit different, and something where we don't really use the traits or utilities too much, and I found something kind of fun and interesting, which I kind of enjoyed recently, so I thought I'd pop this in, see what people think, rip it to hell, and maybe pull it apart and come up with something a bit better. But I actually really enjoy this build, and it's kind of fun. It's good and supporty. I like playing supportive classes as well myself. I'm not a massive fan of direct damage, and I'm probably because I'm not massively good at it, but sustainable builds where I can support and do damage over time. So in terms of this build, I've gone for the Ranger, and we're going for the Sword Torch in the main hand offhand, and then on the second weapon set we've got for the Axe and Warhorn, going with the Rune of Altruism and also the Celestial Amulet, with the Sigil on the first set being Sigil of Force and Sigil of Hydromancy, then Sigil of Water and also Renewal. So you can see that we're going with the Rune of Altruism here. We're going for a lot of healing support in terms of this build, and these shouts are going to also be giving regeneration and swiftness on top of what they would normally do to the rest of our team. Also, I'm going for the Signet of Renewal there, which you can see gives me condition removal every 10 seconds, as well as removing conditions from myself and allies when I activate it, as long as they are nearby. That's very important. And then we've gone for the Spirit of Nature as well, which of course is that nice res, a bit like the War Banner for the Warrior, but not instant. Of course, you have to pull out the Spirit and then you have to command it, so it's very long in cast time in comparison to the War Banner, but is very useful as well. So there are things that you can change in this build to your playstyle and the way you want to do it. Of course, Spirit of Nature is very, very easy to kill as well, especially with this build, just because it's stationary. It doesn't move around with me. I've not buffed it, not buffed the extra chance it's got to actually hit with its ability, so it's very random sometimes if you're going to get the res. In terms of sigils, in explanation of that, I'm going really for the Sigil of Force from extra damage, really, just because we've got that Celestial Amulet. Hydromancy is to get that chill off to actually reduce their cooldowns as well. Then we've got the other set, which I kind of really thinking about that as a supportive set of weapons. So if we stick the heal down, the fifth skill on the Warhorn is actually a blast as well, so the area healing is going to be quite nice, as well as the Sigil of Renewal, and then also the Sigil of Water. So on hit we do get the heals as well, so there's a lot of support coming out from that, and you can see that in terms of the actual support I'm thinking about damage support, so I'm thinking about might, and also giving my team fury, which is really good with the altruism rune, because it's kind of offensive as well. You do give 3 stacks of might as well to allies, and as long as they're near you when you use that heal skill, and also you do give fury out as well for 5 seconds, which is good for yourself and it's also good for your team. So you will also see that my pet gets it as well, because I share boons with him if I go into the traits there. So the other thing as well, which is quite useful, is of course if we have the fire field, we can of course charge through that to get the earth shield and fire shield, and we can also blast it to give ourselves might as well, so they can get some nice amount of might stacking through that. A bit more because I actually failed with that combination, but hopefully I will put a game out where you can see exactly how I'm playing the build. Right, so as you can see as well, that crit chance really jumps up, especially when you got, of course, that's the reason why the Fury is there, to give you that extra damage. So when we go over to the, you can talk quickly about the other weapons actually as well. Of course, there's chills coming off of the third skill on the axe, and then we've got the bleeding as well, and then you do gain the extra might stacks as well coming out of ricochet, so that's pretty sweet. Celestial is just a good sustainable amulet in terms of, you know, keeping yourself up. You can change this in this build variation to the Settler's Amulet as well, which is also quite nice. I've tried that, so that kind of works as well. We are going to go over to the traits now and see how that's going. So Wilderness Survival is where we're going to start off. Natural Vigor, increases endurance regeneration. That's obvious. Vigorous and renewal. Gain vigor when using a healing skill. So we're going to use, obviously, we're going to get that vigor up. The endurance regeneration, that's for your dodge. So you want to have that quite high up because you actually gain protection, which is coming up on the next minor trait when you dodge roll. So the more you dodge you have, the more protection you have. And that's pretty good. You know, it's every time you dodge because there's no cooldown on that. So if you can dodge a lot, you're going to have a lot of protection up, and also you get protection from other sources as well. Offhand training, the offhand skills. So this second set here, especially for Warhorn, is going to be very useful because these Call of the Wild is a very useful ability because you get that fury, might, and swiftness. That's why the cooldown's quite big, the 24 seconds there. And also, of course, the fire field is very nice, and you get the throw torch as well back for free. So, and also number 4, Call of Hawks to swarm your foe. It's pretty nice damage when you've got a lot of might stacks, you know, sustained damage because they're permanently attacking for a few seconds there. So let's go over to the next trait, which is going to be in the nature magic tree. Rejuvenation. Gain regeneration when your health drops below the threshold. Self-explanatory, if I don't need to explain it. Nature's Bounty, regeneration you apply lasts longer. We do give people a regeneration from Healing Spring, Sikkim, of course, and protects me because of a trait which is later in the line, which I'll describe in a moment. Fortifying Bond, any boon you get is shared with your pets, so all those boons I'm getting myself from all my traits and utilities will be also on my pets, so it starts to do a lot more damage as well. Then when we go over to concentration training, boons applied by your pets last for longer. So with these two pets, I've got the juvenile Fenhound. He gives off regeneration. So that regeneration is going to be increased there. And I almost got confused there. And then we got the mower as well, who offers up protection, and that's going to be 4 seconds. Now the regeneration from the dog there is really, really, really good, actually. That's 10 seconds. That's quite a lot. 1.3k heal as well in the end is pretty nice. So we're going to go to the next trait, which is going to be the minor one, Bountiful Hunter. You and your pet deal more damage while you have a boon. So you're going to get some extra damage because pretty much got boons the entire time. And then Nature Voice, which is really a main trait in this build. Shout supply regeneration and swiftness to allies. Regeneration is really the key one there. 17.25 seconds with a 4k heal in the end is very nice. Swiftness, it's okay. Really, ArenaNet needs to change this trait because for a Grandmaster trait, it's underpowered in my opinion. Swiftness should be switched out for protection, or even I would say stability. Even if it was 3 seconds of stability, that would be useful. But because the swiftness is 14 seconds, like after a team fight, if you don't necessarily need to use it, you can use that to get around the map very quickly, or even, you know, just getting out of the map and whatnot and actually moving around to get some mobility for your team. Things like, I don't know, Guardians that haven't got that speed proc off the pack rune and whatnot, and they need to support a fight very quickly. But you could probably use your Warhorn more for that because, you know, you don't want to waste these cooldowns too much. So that's a pretty good trait line to have. Then we're going to go over to the Beastmaster trait line, which is quite important as well. So Instinctual Bond, so when you are downed, your pet gains quickness, does some more damage and whatnot, and the skills and actions are faster. Shoutmaster, this is important of course because you want to reduce those shouts so you can actually get those boons off to your team as well, which is why I've gone for the lower cooldown shouts. Loud Whistle recharge on pet swapping. Pet swapping is quite important so you can get into these cooldowns a lot quicker, and then that comes with Commanding Voice, which is pet skills. The F2 is a recharge faster. Now be careful when you do this because there is this another trait here which basically gives your pets faster ability cooldowns, and that's the first ability. It's their main attack ability. It's not actually the there you go, it's speed training, reduces recharge on pet skills, which I actually kind of got mixed up with this trait recently, and it impacted me quite heavily. Although I did do more damage, remember the boons is really what we're going for in this build, so those recharge times are really a lot, well, they're going to benefit you heavily, to be honest. So, that is pretty much the build. I want you to have fun, I want you to go out, have a look, play with it, test it, talk to people about it, I don't know. do what you want. But basically, this series is meant as a not massively serious series where you have to think, damn, this build is so bad. It's just just having fun with it, especially with the new specializations. Playing with different traits and utilities, I feel, for me, is important, because if the game suddenly changes and the balance changes, playing other stuff is very important, because you want to be ahead of the game. You always want to be testing builds. You don't want to just stay static in the same stuff you've got with the meta, especially if you're like a higher end player or whatever, and then, you know, just not playing with different builds and utilities. Most higher tier players are always playing with stuff. They're playing with different builds, just having a laugh. You know, they do this all the time. They mainly play the meta builds in the high end games. Otherwise, they'll probably be having a laugh unless they're in like ranked queue and they want to play seriously to try and actually practice. So that's pretty much the build, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Another quick note as well is with the Spirit of Nature, that's really an optional thing. You can go for Entangle. I've tried the Rampage's one as well. This is just for extra support and a res. And also I have tried the Longbow, which is quite nice in combination with the Spirit of Nature, because you can use that that stealth on the third skill of the Longbow, and then you can actually pop this off while you're in stealth to get your ally up quite quickly, because no one can interrupt that cast that you're doing, and it's pretty damn useful. So basically that's the build. Here's my two pets. I'll see you very soon. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't and you want to rage in the comments below, feel free. This is a place where you can do it. I will see you very soon, guys. Take care and thank you very much for watching.